Shatter some long-held beliefs about willpower? Buckle up because what you thought you knew might not be entirely accurate. In the world of willpower, we've always believed that biological factors control the majority of our self-control. But hold on, recent studies are flipping the script. We're about to reveal some groundbreaking insights that challenge these assumptions. Stay tuned to discover how your own mind can wield a far more significant influence over your willpower than you ever imagined. Want to boost your motivation and keep your willpower tactful? Stick around. Number 1. Chunking. First up, let's talk about something called chunking. It's a trick that can be as effective as it is simple. Imagine the famous magician David Blaine, known for his incredible endurance feats. Like spending over 63 hours encased in a block of ice. That's required an immense amount of willpower, right? Well, Blaine pulled it off by using a technique called chunking. Here's how it works. Instead of looking at a big, daunting task all at once, you break it down into small, manageable pieces. So instead of thinking about the whole 60 hours he had to endure, Blaine focused on just 1 hour at a time. He'd tell himself, okay, let's get through this next hour, and he'd repeat that mantra. Why does this work? Our brains are wired to be efficient with our willpower to conserve energy. We actually have quite a bit of willpower, but there's a limit to how much we can use in a day. When faced with a huge task, our brain can sometimes say, nope, that's too much. We can't do it. Not enough willpower. But when you use chunking and tackle one small piece at a time, your brain gets on board and says, hey, we can handle this. Here's some extra willpower. Remember when we talk about setting a low bar for our daily routines? Well, that's kind of like using chunking. By setting a small, achievable goal, you tap into that extra bit of willpower you might not have access otherwise, making it easier to stick to your habits. Now, how can you apply this in your daily life? Instead of telling yourself you'll finish a 5-page paper all at once, break it down and promise to finish just 1 paragraph at a time. Not only will this boost your willpower, but it'll also give you more motivation and help you get more done. Plus, chunking can increase your confidence along the way. Number 2. Confidence. Confidence plays a significant role in your willpower. The more confident you feel about a task, the easier it becomes to master your willpower. Let's take an example. Imagine you want to shed 20 pounds. If you were to ask people on the street how confident they are about achieving this, most would admit they have very little confidence. However, if you break it down into smaller chunks, like aiming to lose just 1 pound, most would say, yeah, I can do that. Building confidence is all about celebrating small victories. When you pay attention to these little milestones, you gradually become more confident in reaching your ultimate goal. It's about believing in yourself. A fantastic way to boost your confidence through these small wins is by tracking your progress. For instance, if your goal is weight loss, consider using an app. It helps you monitor your weight loss journey, watching those numbers slowly decrease. This not only increases your confidence, but also makes it easier to stay committed to your fitness routine or diet. Number 3, our perspective. The third way to affect our willpower is by changing how we think about it. In a study from 2010 by Professor Job V, it was discovered that our beliefs about willpower can seriously impact how much of it we have. For instance, if you believe that willpower is limited, you'll use it up faster than someone who thinks it's limitless. So what can we do? Let's get the real story about willpower straight once and for all. The truth is, we actually have more willpower than we use in a day. Our brain just tries to put a cap on it. And remember, knowledge is power. This means you have more control over your willpower. I like to think that by studying willpower, I know how to tap into my unlimited willpower more than most people. By adopting this belief, you'll find yourself with more willpower in the long run. So let's reframe our view of willpower and unlock its full potential. Number 4, change the way you see yourself. The fourth way to boost our willpower is by changing how we see ourselves. When your identity lines up with your goals and habits, it's easier to stick to them without needing as much willpower. But how do we change our identity? Well, it's not as tricky as it sounds. The key is how we talk about ourselves. For example, if you feel the urge to smoke, instead of saying, I can't smoke, I promise to quit, think, I am not a smoker. In the first sentence, you still see yourself as a smoker trying to quit, But in the second one, you identify as a non-smoker from the get-go. Over time, you'll start believing this new identity, making it easier to stick to your new habit. Another handy trick is to swap words like I can't, I have to, and I must with I want to. The first three phrases keep you tied to your old self, but I want to aligns with your new identity. Number 5. High-level thinking. The fifth and final way to boost our willpower using our minds is through a technique called high-level thinking. A study back in 2006 by Professor Fujita showed that people who spent more time on high-level thoughts had significantly better willpower all day compared to those who stuck with low-level thoughts. Now let's clarify the difference between the two types of thinking. Low-level thinking involves focusing on short-term and specific details. For instance, it's when you think about how to get to the gym, how to shed those extra pounds, or what foods to eat. On the other side, high-level thinking is about contemplating broader and long-term concepts. It's when you consider why you're heading to the gym, why you're aiming to lose weight, or why you're changing your diet. It's worth noting that there's nothing wrong with low-level thinking. It's essential for planning. After all, you can't cook dinner without thinking about what you're going to prepare. However, it's beneficial to allocate more time to high-level thinking. High-level thoughts give you a sense of purpose and meaning. When you reflect on why you're changing your diet, it reinforces your belief that it's the right choice for you. I've got a useful exercise for all of you to try. Take some time to jot down on the blank page why you want to stick to this habit. Explore the deeper reasons behind your choices, and you'll find it much easier to stay committed. In a nutshell, there are 5 effective ways to boost your willpower and motivation by altering your mindset. These strategies include chunking. Instead of tackling big goals all at once, break them down into smaller, manageable tasks. Confidence. Build your self-assurance, making you believe you can truly achieve your goals. Reframing willpower. Change how you see willpower, understanding that it's not as limited as it may seem. Identity shift. Align your self-identity with your objectives and habits. High-level thinking. Focus on long-term and purpose-driven thoughts to enhance your willpower. If you found this video helpful, please show your support by liking and subscribing to our channel.